and welcome to Food for Thought, a series of shows produced by university students from around the world. I'm Lina Al-Sadi.
And I'm Laura Faria. We're from Ryerson University in Toronto, Canada.
I'm Arina Mukhortova from HSE in Moscow, Russia.
I am Giovanna Dionisio along with Marcela Matsuki. We are from Methodista University in São Paulo, Brazil. This is one of 7 shows we are producing on the theme of food. You can watch our shows on our website, our Facebook page, and our YouTube channel.
We're talking about everything from farming and agriculture to nutrition and health to food and waste.
The focus of this show is on the celebration of food. We are going to see what street foods are like in different countries, get some inspiration from a food blogger, and learn how our senses influence our taste. Let's get started.
I think we can all agree that food trends come and go quickly. One instance is street food, which is popular around the world.
I was born and raised in Brazil, but I remember the street markets were my favorite thing about Sundays. I used to love having coxinhas, pastéis, pão de queijos. How is the street food like nowadays in Brazil, Marcela?
Laura, street food is still one of the most popular gastronomic options in Brazil. Among the rush of daily life, many Brazilians choose to shop in food trucks. They are spread across cities and draw attention for their diversity of food and the low cost. The possibilities range from hot dogs and kabobs to more elaborate snacks. See more in the video by from Methodista University of São Paulo.
Para poupar tempo ou para economizar, na periferia ou no centro, o cachorro-quente ou o espetinho. A comida de rua vem sendo uma ótima opção na vida dos brasileiros, seja para os que compram, como também para os que vendem. Adilson dos Santos e Sueli Ferreira começaram vendendo trufas e bolos de pote nas estações de trem, e hoje vendem os produtos nas ruas de Santo André, em São Paulo.
Você trabalhar com vendas, você não trabalha só para você. As pessoas vê você fazendo assim ao vivo o seu trabalho. A pessoa chega aqui, pede do jeitinho que quer, a gente atende com toda a paciência, com todo amor. É gostoso, é uma coisa assim que é uma terapia, né? A gente sempre trabalhou assim unido, né? Saímos da empresa para trabalhar por conta própria. Nós trabalhávamos no trem, veio para a rua, aí conseguimos montar uma mesinha de bolo, de doce, aí depois a gente conseguiu esse carrinho. Tem muita água por aí que passou debaixo da ponte para a gente chegar até aqui, né? Hoje nós estamos com esse pontinho, a gente paga para estar aqui, não é fácil, todo mundo aqui paga. E a nossa correria é constante, não para. Nós trabalhamos aqui na rua, é sol, chuva, tem dias que a gente não dorme, porque a gente fica fazendo os doces na madrugada. A gente é nosso patrão, né? Nós temos esse luxo, mas é um luxo assim, necessário. Foi difícil, teve momentos que a gente chorou junto, se ajoelhou e falou assim, não vamos parar porque Deus proverá.
Além dos desafios para montar o próprio empreendimento, há também as dificuldades para mantê-lo. Os pequenos negócios foram os mais afetados com a pandemia. Logo no início, a projeção era de que a maioria das empresas de pequeno porte não se recuperassem. Quase 50% do setor de serviços teve que fechar as portas nesse período.
Bom, na pandemia a gente teve que quase fechar o quiosque, né, para falar a verdade. As empresas quase todas fecharam, né, porque não teve movimento nenhum e com isso não teve nenhum lucro. Então, o que está passando hoje é que a gente está conseguindo reabastecer tudo que a gente perdeu no pós-pandemia.
Antes da pandemia, os brasileiros já gastavam mais de R$ 650 por mês com alimentação, sendo 32,8% disso direcionado à comida de rua. Uma alternativa foi usar as redes sociais para continuar as vendas em 2020.
Na pandemia, a gente ficou trabalhando pelo delivery do Zap, que a gente ficou 2 meses sem salário e 6 meses bem difícil mesmo de ficar, de falar assim, por onde nós vamos começar? Eu postava no status, as pessoas viam meu produto e falavam, Su, eu quero esse. Su, tem como você entregar? Tem. Com todos os procedimentos, né? Ele ficou na entrega e eu fiquei trabalhando da cozinha de casa.
E mesmo em meio à crise, esse ramo é uma velha paixão dos brasileiros, que continuam optando pela comida de rua por sua rapidez e diversidade.
The food truck culture is also a very big deal in California's Central Valley. From your favorite Mexican tacos to sweet, warm cinnamon rolls, food trucks offer a lot of choices everywhere in Fresno.
Our next two stories are from California State University in Fresno. First, Tony Salazar will explain how food trucks help the local economy, and then Ruby Rocky take us on a tour of the most popular food truck.
Eating at a locally owned business is rewarding.
By coming here and supporting them, we're keeping them in business. I like supporting local businesses because it feels good to help out someone from the community.
Every week, Fresno Street Eats organizes food events like this for the community.
Trying to establish good quality food events where the food truck is actually the draw and not necessarily just part of the event.
They understand the importance of supporting locally owned businesses. That's why they've helped food trucks stay in business through these rough times.
Introduced up to 10 different food trucks since the COVID started. Plus we've kind of helped probably another 30 to 40 stay afloat.
One of those food trucks is Tacos de Sinaloa.
We started in 2009. We sell tacos, burritos, quesadillas, tortas, and right now we actually have these really famous tacos. They're called quesadilla tacos.
Salazar says that their family food truck is their livelihood.
Because this is what we depend on, Like when COVID hit and we didn't work or anything, it's a little bit hard. There's no business. We're local. We need business. We want to get everyone from Fresno or the Valley just to support local businesses.
For every $1 that is spent at a locally owned business, 70 cents of that $1 will stay here locally and help support local businesses. Like Tacos de Sinaloa and other food vendors who rely on Fresno Street Eats events.
Very, very grateful for them, yeah. Right now we're actually with them, and if it weren't for them, I don't know where we would be right now, Because, helps us so much.
A taco plate with a side of gratitude. That's priceless. I'm Tony Salazar at Fresno State in California, USA.
Food trucks are very common to see all over Fresno, and they have something for everyone.
I think everybody's loving it because you got to think, you go to one restaurant, you have that one particular food item versus go to a property where there's 7 to 8 trucks, you can get everything for your family all in one shot.
Many of these food trucks come together in events like these brought by Fresno Street Eats.
I partner up with them for majority of my week, and then I branch out and do private events as well. Cater to parties, weddings, schools, churches. Like this week we got coming up a barrel racing in Tulare.
Felton is making sure that wherever he goes, people like you and I enjoy his food.
This great business owner who has done a lot to be sure that the community enjoys his food and enjoys their time being here. And he went ahead and he made myself some barbecue boneless chicken, and I'm gonna see how it tastes. Let's see. Okay. If you guys were here and could smell it, it just tastes amazing.
There is always a variety of food for everyone. Many food trucks around Fresno serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm Ruby Roque for California State University, Fresno, California, United States.
Shawarma is the best street food in Moscow. I have tried it. It's tasty and delicious, but has lots of calories. I talked about blini earlier in the show, and you can buy it as street food, but Russians prefer to make their blini at home.
And here in Toronto, along with hot dogs and French fries, we have trucks selling everything from Indian curry to Chinese dumplings.
I like to eat pastel, it's fried pastry, and here in Brazil, it's a very common thing because we have a lot of open markets with these pastries.
I love pastel as well, but it's hard to find in Toronto, and often the portions are really small and really disappointing.
There is a very famous food here in Brazil called açaí. It's a kind of an ice cream from an Amazonian fruit, and it's sold on open markets. But each state has its own way of eating it, so it can depend. And I saw churros in the story from California, and I really love them, and it's very popular here in Brazil. You are watching Food for Thought, shows produced by university students from 10 countries around the world.
We have produced 7 shows, and you can watch them all on our website, as well as on YouTube and Facebook.
The increased popularity of street foods and markets reflect how people are becoming more interested in food, and that's been even more evident in the last 2 years during the pandemic.
It seems like everyone got into making bread, but also people took their passion for cooking to social media.
The number of food blogs has really increased since COVID. Some are friends who like to share their favorite recipes, and others are dietitians who post healthy but tasty meal suggestions. I know one person who loves to post recipes, and she posted many during her travels. One of my family friends is Sarah Abdulaziz. This Canadian food blogger has always loved making delicious meals in healthy yet tasty ways. And thanks to posting on social media like TikTok and Instagram during this pandemic, her passion has really grown and captured the hearts, eyes, and follows of millions. One of her most famous recipes is something called halal cart-style chicken and rice bowls. It's really quite delicious. I've tried it myself.
Well, no matter whether you buy your food at markets or grocery stores, eat at home or at restaurants, or you get inspiration from food bloggers, we all have opinions about what we like and what we won't eat. For me, it is jalapeno peppers. I just can't. I cannot. I don't like the taste. I love pepper, not jalapeno.
I don't like beef liver and bananas. They smell and the taste are not good to me.
In Russia, people eat animal livers too, pig or cow maybe. Everyone in my family and friends like it, but I hate this smell.
For me, everybody likes coconut, but not me. My problem is the texture of the fruit, and if I eat something with coconut, in case I don't know if it has this ingredient, even so, I can feel it right away and the taste in my mouth.
Many of the things we have mentioned revolve around our senses and perception of food.
Do you remember the last meal you ate? The taste, the smell? What about the way it looked, or even the sounds it made as you took your first bite?
We rely on all of our senses when we eat. So much so that something between 75 and 95% of what we commonly consider taste is really just smell. Eat in the dark restaurants like Au Noir in Toronto challenge this conventional experience we share when we consume our food. Alessandra Di Frascinto from Ryerson University in Toronto has more.
I have no idea what this is. It smells like a curry.
Oh, okay.
Wait. I don't know. I'm not good with my sense of smell. I've just realized. I just realized I can't It's hard to pick stuff up.
We all think we taste food in our mouth. We can localize the experience right in there. And yet it's happening really up here in the brain with all these senses brought together.
When you're blind, you have to depend on your feeling and your tasting. I know sighted people depends on their sight to look at the food. We have to depend on taste to taste good or smell good. My name is Dave, and I'm a server at Au Noir for 12 years.
Au Noir is the only eat-in-the-dark restaurant here in Toronto, Canada, where blind servers guide guests into a pitch-black room, giving guests the opportunity to see what eating without their sense of sight is like.
There's definitely lettuce in it. I've had a couple more bites now and I can taste the lettuce. Okay, but then there's also something else, like meat. It's almost like a deep fried thing of sort. I think. I honestly cannot tell.
Once my friend Macy and I went back into the kitchen after eating, though, we surprisingly realized that what we thought was deep-fried meat actually ended up being sautéed eggplant on a bed of spinach.
The pork, the supply and needs are more confusing to many people. They can't guess out, and then once they were told, they were really screaming a little, it's like was really surprised.
As you anticipate, as you expect, as you predict what things are going to taste like, your brain's doing something different, doing different senses. But what your eyes see and your nose smells and your ears hear, that's all setting sort of flavor expectations that then anchor when you do taste something.
Sitting down at Au Noir and being immersed in a pitch-black environment allows one to realize that taste isn't the sole sense at the forefront when enjoying a meal. It's within this interconnected relationship of all of our senses where we make the dining experience everything that it is. I'm Alessandra Di Fascinetto at Ryerson University, Toronto, Canada.
Ale, my classmate from Ryerson, produced that story. It includes a clip with Charles Spence, who has literally written the book on how our senses impact our taste. He's a professor of experimental psychology at Oxford in the UK, and he explained to Ale how your perception of taste changes when you listen to different kinds of music. He calls it sonic seasoning.
All the work on sonic seasoning, that we can use music to make things taste sweeter or more bitter or creamy or spicy. That is something people are very surprised by. I was surprised by, and continues to surprise people because there's no obvious explanation for it. And to give people a piece of chocolate and 2 pieces of chocolate, 1 piece of chocolate with a sweet soundtrack, 1 piece with a bitter soundtrack, and for 16 out of 17 people to say that that the chocolate with the sweet music tasted sweeter, even though it's exactly the same, is sort of surprising and fun at the same time.
Dr. Spence has lots of fascinating things to say about taste and our senses. You can watch his entire interview on our website.
How many times have you looked at an ad of a fast food chain and thought, whoa, that burger looks amazing. Nothing like what you actually eat at the restaurant. Our next story comes from Breda University of Applied Sciences in Netherlands. Carla Fischer joins us from Breda. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Creating that kind of advertisement is a specific business called food styling. Many studios and production companies are now completely dedicated to creating advertisements and shots of food. In this business, all the aspects of a normal production are involved, with real directors, set designers, directors of photography, and producers involved in creating the perfect food commercial. Follow us in the behind the scenes of such studios. We will talk to the masterminds of food styling, who will showcase the tricks to make food look good on camera, the process behind shooting a food commercial, and all the technique used in food propping.
Food represents the core of our lifestyle as an individual and as a society. And besides tasting good, many people want it to be appealing to look at as well, especially the many companies that operate in the food business. Many studios and production companies are now completely dedicated in creating advertisements and shots of food. Which brings us here. To grasp its relevance, we will show you where it all begins. Nosh is an international creative production company located in Amsterdam and centered around food, film and photography. Therefore, we are here to meet them.
I am Jordi. I'm the creative partner for Nosh Food Films and Photography. My responsibility is to make sure that the quality that we produce stays up to par, because we're in the top segment of the industry. Nosh has two meanings. One, it's a verb in English, so it means to nosh, or have a little nosh means snacking. And it also comes from Yiddish, like the Dutch word nosse, comes from nosje, to nosh, also means snacking. Most things are real, usually not edible because they're enhanced with a whole lot of things to make it look that good or make it look that smooth or that thick. All the videos that you see on Facebook about what they use, like with motor oil and all that kind of stuff, it's fake, it's a hoax. It doesn't happen. The only food that is not real in 99% of the cases, ice cream. That's usually made of potato starch and all kinds of tricks that we don't tell people about, because it's like an industry secret from the food stylist. And if you see liquid chocolate in a commercial, it's absolutely not real. Right now, we're doing a lot of rice and a lot of sushi. That's all real and it's totally edible. So it's going to be, I think, quite a big sushi party at the end of the day. Our goal, of course, is to basically servicing the client to the highest possible level. but it's not only about the product that you make. Equally important is how happy the client walks away. If the client walks away with a bitter feeling, they're never going to come back, and then everything is basically wasted. My personal mission within Nosh to make sure that we work for more sustainable brands. So the latest pitch that we won was for Beyond Meat. So we're now their European partner to create all their content, which was a big personal win because I actually love to create for brands that think in a more progressive and forward way. It's my job, my hobby, my personal life, like I wake up and go to bed with it basically. In one word, it's extremely hard to put it in one word. Exciting, maybe. It's exciting, that's what it is, yeah. It's basically become my life basically, which is a lot of fun. I mean, could be worse.
So as we just saw, pretty much every food commercial is created by so-called food stylists. The food that we see in these commercials is mostly edible, but the way it looks sadly is not real. Because I had no idea that this market exists, I would be very interested in how much everybody else here knew about this.
Sometimes the food appearance is better than the taste, and it's so disappointing.
For example, here in Brazil, we have a famous and expensive restaurant. And when I got there, my food was no seasoning. I was so disappointed. We are going to end our show with a completely different take on a very popular drink. Most of us drink or use milk as a part of our daily lives. We are used to seeing milk as something common, what we are used to. But what if I tell you that milk has a very interesting and unusual meaning in culture? Titarenko Yuri from Hesия University, Moscow, take a look at the symbolism of milk in modern culture.
Colonel Hans Landa in Inglourious Basterds, Alex in A Clockwork Orange, and Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. What is common between these characters? They all are very displeasing. Some of them are obvious villains, as Anton Chigurh and Hans Landa, and a very standing out anti-hero, Alex. There's also one common detail that made viewers feel uncomfortable without them understanding why. I'm talking about the scenes where these characters drink milk. But why does it make us feel so insecure and uncomfortable watching the scenes, and why out of all beverages, authors have decided to make their negative characters drink exactly milk? Milk is usually associated with something innocent, childish, and defenseless. Seeing an adult drink milk makes us feel weird, not to mention when this adult is a harsh and repulsive character that the viewer has no sympathy to. The fact of a villain drinking milk is about suppressing innocence. It shows the dominance of evil. Adults drinking milk represent a transgression of social and moral values. In his mastery essay, Wine and Milk, Roland Barthes explains that its purity associated with the innocence of a child is a token of a strength which is not revulsive, not congestive, but calm, white, lucid, the equal of reality. Some American films in which the hero, strong and uncompromising, did not shrink from having a glass of milk before drawing his avenging cold. It pretty well explains such controversy that occurs in a viewer's mind, but it is not the only milk appearance in the movies. Mad Max Fury Road shows us a remarkable scene where Max, after saving one of the characters, washes his hands in breast milk that was used as the drink, keeping men strong and healthy. It symbolizes Max's atonement for sins and redemption. It is a very unusual but extremely effective way to emotionally involve a viewer into the movie and strengthen the suspense.
And this was Food for Thoughts, and this was a very enlightening show. I think the most important thing for me is that I would like to try Taiwanese food. There's a place in Toronto called 44 South Village, and it looks like it's a 5-star restaurant, and I really want to go there and try some food from Taiwan.
You know what? I think I would really like to try Taiwanese food as well. I really like food from that part of the world, but I've never actually had Taiwanese food, so I say we go together.
Yes, date.
I'd like to eat at an Au Noir restaurant or have something like that open in Moscow. It's so great idea.
Well, in general, we told you about our favorite foods of open markets, but I have to say that there are also options of health food in Brazil, guys.
Yeah, it's true, Marcela. Here in Brazil, we have a big variety of fresh fruits and vegetables at open markets, and with a good price too.
I would also really like to try some Brazilian snacks, as you guys told me all about it. It sounds very nice. And as I've already been in South America and tried out many snacks from there, I think that's the next snack I'm gonna go for.
Thank you for watching Food for Thought. We have 7 other shows all about the involvement in food in our farming and agriculture, nutrition and health, and our environment. You can find our shows on our website or our social media. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.